Between November and December of 2025, the EPS became aware of reports of break-and-enters in the communities of Water Valley and Calahoo at their volunteer fire halls. In both occurrences, it was reported that rescue tools, including industrial cutters, a ram, and spreaders commonly referred to as the jaws of life, were taken from these fire halls, with the total amount of the tools valued at approximately $110,000. For context, these are life-saving tools that are used in emergency situations by volunteer fire departments that service small rural communities. From early December 2025 to early January 2026, the EPS investigated approximately 18 break-and-enters in Edmonton, of which approximately 14 involved use of the stolen jaws of life tools. These break-and-enters were reported in southwest, southeast, and northeast Edmonton, as well as one that was reported in Sherwood Park. All of these break-and-enters occurred at various types of retail businesses, such as bars, convenience stores, cannabis shops, and high-end clothing stores. Items that were stolen from these businesses included high-end bags and jackets, cannabis and vape products, and cash from ATMs and safes. In total, we estimate that the property damage and retail losses range between $750,000 and $1 million. After a thorough investigation into these incidents, including collaboration with our colleagues from the RCMP, the Edmonton Police Service were able to arrest 30-year-old Logan Morell and 42-year-old Tristan Kaiser in late January of this year. Lastly, in early February of this year, the EPS arrested a third male suspect, Abram Dick, who is 47 years of age. At this time, all three men are facing over 200 combined charges, including approximately 35 break-and-enter to commit theft charges, approximately 35 disguise with intent charges, and approximately 45 possession of stolen property over $5,000 charges. In addition to these extensive charges, we are also pleased to announce that 8 of the 9 tools that were stolen from the Calahoo Fire Department were recovered and returned. Our team was also able to locate one of the 3 missing tools from the Water Valley Fire Hall, but unfortunately it was in a state that it was beyond repair. As you can see on the screen beside me, we do have some of the recovered tools pictured. Specifically, these are some of the items that were returned recently to the Calahoo Fire Department. From left to right, you will see pictured a saw, a combi tool, a spreader, hoses, a B-post simulator, a cutter, and a power pump. Now, I'm not an expert in the complete and intricate details of how these specific tools work. However, I can share with you that these tools are used by fire and rescue services in emergency situations to save lives. They are invaluable to the operations of fire halls across the province, including right here in Edmonton. We are thankful that some of the tools have been returned to their rightful place, where they can continue to assist in the critical work that they were designed to do. Investigations into the remaining missing tools is ongoing. And before I pass it over to my colleague, Staff Sergeant McGonigal, and we take some of your questions, I would like to mention that this break-and-enter series serves as an example that very often crime knows no borders. In this case, the crime started in one community and ended up impacting many others. And that's what we're seeing here today, not just about the recovery of the tools or making the arrests, but the profound impact that offenses like this have on the community. Incidents like this touch a community's businesses and their emergency operations. And that's why our commitment to investigative excellence spans beyond our city limits. Now, throughout this investigation, the EPS and the RCMP shared data and intelligence, and because of those collective efforts, successful arrests were made and life-saving tools were recovered. I would like to thank the intelligence teams from both agencies who identified, tracked, and provided actionable intelligence to this crime series. I would also like to thank all of the police officers from both agencies who played a role in these investigations by responding to scenes, collecting evidence, and utilizing the data to obtain search warrants, recover property, and make arrests. Those efforts are very much appreciated and recognized. This investigation is a tremendous example in intelligence-led policing and a coordinated effort between different police agencies. And now I'll invite Staff Sergeant McGonigal with the Morinville RCMP to say a few words, and then we'll take some questions. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Staff Sergeant Darcy McGonigal. I am the detachment commander of the RCMP detachment in Morinville. Thank you for coming today, and thank you to the Edmonton Police Service for inviting me to speak this morning. This investigation highlights how a small group of prolific offenders can have a significant and far-reaching impact on our communities. In their pursuit of quick financial gain, these individuals showed little regard for the safety and well-being of others. As demonstrated in this case, they were prepared to steal life-saving equipment relied on by our first responders to protect and rescue those in need. Offenders like these rarely stop on their own. They are stopped through coordinated police work and accountability. Across Alberta, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and our policing partners remain focused on sustaining the downward trend in property crime, and that progress is driven by strong collaboration. We recognize that crime does not respect municipal boundaries, which is why partnerships like the one between our agencies in and around Edmonton is so critical. Through proactive information sharing, coordinated enforcement strategies, and a shared commitment to public safety, we are making meaningful progress in reducing crime and holding repeat offenders accountable. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And as per our normal process, we have a microphone at the back of the room. If we can have a lineup, please, and please kindly introduce yourself by name and by outlet. We'll have one question and one follow-up, please. Thank you.
Amanda with CTV. I mean, I have been reporting for almost 30 years. I've never seen something like this. Have you guys ever seen anything like this in your history?
I've never seen something like this in my career. This is a first. Yeah, and hopefully a last. I can say that since we made these arrests, we're not aware of any other incidents that have occurred since then.
And then I might just follow up with, these are big tools. How are they being, how are they using them to, I guess, break into these places? Was it to cut doors, things like that? Can you give us any insight into that?
Again, I'm not an expert on how to use the equipment, but their normal use is to be able to extract people primarily from vehicles when they're trapped or other places when conventional methods don't work. So they're quite effective at getting into places that you otherwise couldn't with conventional tools.
Lauren Boothby, City News. Can you talk about how much of an impact the loss of these tools had on the volunteer firefighters and their ability to save people?
Well, we don't have the stats of how many calls they went to without the tools that could have made an impact. All we know, or all I can say, is that during that time frame from when they were stolen to when they were recovered, they were either without them or would have had to probably borrow from a neighboring department or something like that.
So you didn't hear about them not being able to do a rescue or anything because of these?
I didn't hear about that. Was there anything out in the rural areas that you heard about on that?
So I remained in contact with the rural fire departments that were impacted by this, and I can confirm that they were able to take steps to ensure that they were able to continue with their emergency operations at their respective fire halls.
And I was wondering if you could share some more details about the businesses that were had break-ins, like certain types of businesses. Were they all selling similar things, different things? What were they targeting in particular?
Variety of things. Like I mentioned in the statement, it was everything from bars and convenience stores to cannabis shops to retail stores. So it was a vast variety of types of stores and products.
Were they looking for any particular types of goods? It was just whatever they could get in and take quickly?
Yeah, I would say that in some cases it was targeted, and in some cases it appeared very random.
Hi, Eve Côté, Radio-Canada. I had a question regarding the suspects. Do you have more information? Were they known by the police? Did they have any relation to one another?
So 2 of the 3 suspects were well known to police and had extensive history. The third one, not so much. And I can't speak to their relationship amongst each other.
And then I had a question regarding the trend in rural crime. I heard the mayor say recently that there is a trend in rural crime as opposed to more city crime. Can you speak to that?
I can speak to that.
Yeah, I'll defer to you on that, yeah.
So this series of crimes certainly is not indicative of any trends in rural crime. There was statistics provided to the public that were dated back 2 or 3 years ago, I believe, with regards to the rates of property crime in rural areas. Important to highlight that that data encompassed rural areas across Canada. I can confirm that over the period that this series of crimes were committed, the rural areas surrounding Edmonton experienced a relatively low rate of property crimes.
Hi, Matthias Kidd, Date News Watch. What kind of security protocols were in place for the equipment that was stolen at the time?
Like at the fire halls, you mean? Again, I'm not sure, and again, maybe you can speak to that.
Sure. So the measures that were in place for security at the different fire halls did vary from one to the other. They weren't consistent. These were municipal fire halls that were managed locally and municipally. And so because of that, there were varying steps of security taken at each location.
Are there any plans to increase security with the equipment?
That would be a decision that would rest with the municipalities that fund and govern the respective fire halls. Thanks.
Sarah Ryan, Global News. Can you talk a little bit about, like most businesses nowadays have some kind of security systems. Would tools like this specifically allow them to bypass standard security systems that they may have had in place, like bars on doors, those kinds of things, roll-up shutters? Can you give us a sense? Are these tools exceptional in that way?
Potentially in some cases, but they're not going to have the ability to bypass, certain security measures, certainly not security like alarm systems.
And can you talk a little bit about how you guys were able to make the connections? Was it surveillance video that showed Jaws? Like how did that happen?
Yeah, you bet. So one of the big things was the uniqueness of these tools and the capabilities that they have. They're not, again, like your just run-of-the-mill pry bar or something like that. So it became obvious quite quickly that there was a unique tool or tools being used in right from the first couple of B&Es that we investigated.
Based on the damage?
Primarily, yeah.
And I just want to clarify, you had said 2 of the 3 offenders were prolific, 1 was not. Could you just say who the 2 are or who the 1 was that wasn't?
Yeah, the first 2 that I mentioned, Morel and were the ones that were most known to us.
Are the 3 still in custody, or have they been released on bail?
I don't know if, I believe Logan is still in custody.
Yeah, they were all initially remanded. Whether they are still in custody at this, like as of today, I don't know, and we don't have any court dates or anything set yet.
I think you mentioned that the tools were returned to the respective fire halls. What was that like? The response from the chiefs from those municipalities when you said, "Hey, we've got them. We're bringing them back to you."
Well, again, I'll let Darcy speak to that because the RCMP actually were the ones that returned the tools to Calahoo. So I'll let.
Thanks for that question. Obviously, a lot of gratitude, and just to touch on another earlier question that came regarding the value the items that were stolen. We discussed earlier the dollar value on the items, the use of each specific item that was stolen. What we also have to keep in mind is the significance of the personal value, the value to the public through service from our fire departments, using this equipment to provide life-saving services when needed. So for our local fire departments, and again, these are small volunteer municipal fire departments, to receive this equipment back, a lot of gratitude and very much a game changer for them, no doubt.
Is there one final question before we wrap it up?
Sure, Lauren Boothby, City News. If we're not kind of able to get the types of businesses impacted, just in case business owners are worried about, oh, what if someone else tries this on me? Is there anything they could do, or any types of businesses that should be careful or anything like that you can share?
Again, given the wide range of businesses that were affected by this, it's hard to say one specific, type. So it really comes down to just that diligence, no different than we tell the public of just, be mindful of where you're keeping your stuff and how accessible it is, and security systems and those sorts of things.